I am the legitimate daughter of the Mang family, the foremost of the 4 great clans, born with a jade pendant and naturally gifted with violet eyes. The imperial sage declared me the reincarnation of a phoenix, whose destiny could only be restrained by a true dragon. Thus, I was revered as the Phoenix Maiden. The emperor betrothed me to Xiao Yinzhou. Yet Xiao Yinzhou secretly conceived a child with my younger half-sister. When my half-sister was discovered, she refused to reveal his name. My father forced her to take abortion medicine, then hanged her with a white silk cord. To help him ascend the throne, I defied ancestral teachings and used forbidden magic. The backlash robbed me of all 5 senses, leaving me near death. Xiao Yinzhou gripped my throat. You was the true Phoenix Maiden. You schemed relentlessly, resorting to any means to marry me, and killed Yuer. I shall make you taste the agony she endured. He poisoned me with the heart-shattering powder. My intestines ruptured, my belly rotted, and I died in pus-filled agony. When I opened my eyes again, we had both returned to the moment of our betrothal. He knelt on the ground, declaring he'd rather be demoted to commoner than marry me. Father Emperor, she is not the Phoenix Maiden, Yuer is. Your son refuses to marry her. Xiao Yinzhou knelt, his words righteous and resolute. Insolent! Do you imply I've grown senile? The emperor roared in fury. Your son dares not. But my heart belongs to Meng Jingyu. I will marry no one but her. If father insists on forcing this marriage, then banish me to commoner status. The emperor leapt to his feet, hurling his teacup at Xiao Yinzhou, shattering it against the prince's forehead. Is this how a prince should speak? To utter such treasonous words for a woman? You have disappointed me beyond measure. Father, Meng Chaoyan is shameless. To marry me, she dared deceive the throne. You must punish her for treason and execute her as a warning to others. Xiao Yinzhou's words made me realize he too had been reborn. That's why he's so eager to annul the betrothal. I spoke slowly. Your Majesty, please calm your anger. Since the second prince has found someone he loves, this humble maiden is willing to step aside for him. Xiao Yinzhou shot me a surprised glance. After a moment, the emperor sighed. Very well. Then I shall dissolve your betrothal. The emperor dismissed Xiao Yinzhou first, leaving me behind. Zhao Yan. He is blind. Among my other 2 princes, whichever one you choose shall become crown prince. Xiao Yinzhou believed I schemed relentlessly to marry him as crown princess, even deceiving the emperor. But what he didn't know was, whomever I choose becomes crown prince. At birth, I held a phoenix jade in my mouth. The Mang residence was bathed in a halo of rosy light, and I was born with a pair of violet eyes. The imperial sage declared me the reincarnation of a phoenix. Only a true dragon could suppress my destiny, anyone else would bring great calamity. Honored as the Phoenix Maiden, the emperor betrothed me to Xiao Yinzhou, his most favored son, whom he intended to inherit the throne. But Xiao Yinzhou was no true dragon, he could not suppress my destiny. In my past life, because I loved him, I defied ancestral teachings and used secret arts to transform him completely. Only then could he survive to inherit the throne. Yet I suffered backlash, my senses vanished, and my days were numbered. Yet he believed I had resorted to any means to marry him, to become crown princess, deceiving the emperor and even causing Meng Jingyu's death. After he ascended the throne, he poisoned me with heartbreak grass, personally gouged out my violet eyes, and left me to die with my intestines torn and stomach rotting. My corpse was discarded to feed the wild dogs. A torrent of hatred surged within me, raging like a volcano poised to erupt. I bowed my head and pinched myself hard, forcing the hatred down. After calming myself, I opened my eyes again, now clear and resolute. This lifetime, I will fulfill his foolish devotion. I have no use for a heart as treacherous as a wolf's or as cruel as a dog's. Your Majesty, This humble maiden's heart belongs to the first prince. Xiao Jiuchen, I declared, enunciating each word deliberately. Chinner? The emperor was utterly astonished. He asked if I was certain. I nodded. Very well. Return now. Tomorrow, the imperial decree granting your marriage shall be delivered to the Meng residence. On the day of your wedding to Chinner, I shall bestow upon him the title of crown prince. After leaving the imperial study, I found Xiao Yanzhou waiting at the door. Why did you agree to annul the betrothal so readily? Shouldn't you have clung to it desperately, weeping and begging Father Emperor to intervene? I replied coldly, have all the men in the world perished? Or am I so undesirable that I must cling to you like a tree to survive? It was His Highness who refused to marry me. Now that I've let go, he's displeased. His Highness truly has issues. Meng Chaoyan, dare you speak to me this way? Do you believe I won't punish you for disrespect? Xiao Yanzhou's face darkened. Not even crown prince yet. And already so eager to purge the court. With that, I walked past him and left. Xiao Yanzhou's gaze followed my retreating figure. Cold and vicious. No matter how desperately Xiao Yanzhou pleaded, the emperor refused to let him marry Meng Jingyu. He simply knelt at the door of the imperial study, declaring he would rise only when the emperor granted permission to wed Meng Jingyu. The emperor flew into a rage, overturning a desk. Rebellious son. To act so absurdly for a mere woman. If he loves kneeling, let him kneel. How could I have ever fancied him in my past life? How foolish. The more he pressed, the less likely the emperor would consent. As the ruler, he detested defiance above all, especially from his own flesh and blood. Had Xiao Yanzhou done something to please the emperor, he might have secured the imperial match. Utterly foolish. The next day, the imperial decree granting my marriage to Xiao Jiuchen arrived at the mansion. Yanner, you've finally seen reason. Your father always said the second prince was unfit for trust and lacked the true dragon's destiny. Father accepted the edict, his face beaming with joy. Before, my daughter was blinded by foolishness. Sister, did you perhaps know brother Yanzhou didn't care for you? So you turned to the first prince instead? What a pity. Brother Yanzhou is destined to become crown prince. And I will become crown princess. Meng Jingyu's eyes sparkled with delight as she spoke in a sardonic tone. In her previous life, before her death, she told Xiao Yanzhou that she and I were born on the same day. That she was the true Phoenix Maiden. She claimed I had schemed to steal her title of Phoenix Maiden simply because I wanted to marry him and become crown princess. In the end, she was hanged with a white silk cord. That was my idea. After her death, Xiao Yanzhou hated me with a vengeance. Convinced I had killed Meng Jingyu. Upon ascending the throne, he rushed to execute me, seeking vengeance for his beloved. The next day, Meng Jingyu, worried about Xiao Yanzhou, came seeking me early in the morning. Sister, please beg the emperor. If brother Yanzhou kneels any longer, he'll harm his health. He kneels to ask for your hand. What does that have to do with me? Why should I go? Besides, even if I pleaded with the emperor, he wouldn't appreciate it. He'd only think I'm trying to keep him from you. Meng Jingyu's face paled in disbelief. But you like brother Yanzhou. How can you bear to see him kneel like this? Sister, when did you become so heartless? Who said I like him? Besides, I'm about to become the crown prince's consort. Meng Jingyu shot me a hateful glare. After pleading with father to no avail, she could only wait at the palace gates. Xiao Yanzhou knelt in the imperial study for 3 days before fainting. The emperor had him carried back to the mansion. Upon waking, he heard that Meng Jingyu had waited at the palace gates for 3 days and was deeply moved. Fool! I said, you treat me thus, and I shall never betray you. I gave a bitter laugh. See? The difference between love and indifference. In my past life, I poured out my heart for him, even sacrificing my own lifespan to defy fate for him. Yet he treated me with utter disdain. But Meng Jingyu merely waited at the palace gates for 3 days. And he was both moved and filled with pity. Days later, rumors spread throughout the capital that I was a fake phoenix maiden, the true one being someone else. To marry Xiao Yanzhou and become crown princess. I'd resorted to any means, even stealing from my own sister, daring to deceive the emperor himself. The common folk began to question my identity as the Phoenix Princess. Upon hearing this, the emperor summoned me to the palace. Zhao Yan. These rumors have grown increasingly absurd in recent days. The people are questioning whether you are truly the Phoenix Princess. I looked at the emperor, waiting for his next words. Since the imperial sage prophesied you are the reincarnation of the phoenix, you must possess divine abilities. Why not prove it now? To put an end to the speculation? This humble maiden obeys the command. My main clan is a lineage of secret arts. Among every 20 direct descendants, one may possess violet eyes, eyes that foresee future events. I bit my fingertip and pressed the blood to my forehead. My violet eyes glowed with a deep purple light. After a moment, I spoke slowly. In 3 days, a flood will strike Qinzhou. The people will be displaced and suffer greatly. Your Majesty may send men to prepare in advance. Is this true? The emperor asked in a deep voice. Your servant dares not deceive your Majesty. The next day, Princess Qingla's birthday was approaching. I went to the largest jewelry shop in the capital, Golden Hall, and went straight to the 3rd floor. Golden Treasure Hall was the capital's largest jewelry shop, divided into 3 levels. The 1st floor catered to commoners. The 2nd floor served high-ranking officials and nobles, while the 3rd floor was reserved exclusively for their members. Bring that over for me to see. I pointed to a twin-flowered hibiscus glass hairpin in the display case. This hairpin is exquisite. Yuer would look stunning wearing it. Xiao Yanzhou's voice echoed. What a small world. But this is what sister chose. Meng Jingyu, soft and fragile, glanced at me before burrowing into Xiao Yanzhou's embrace. So what if she chose it? Xiao Yanzhou snatched the hairpin from my hand and shoved me aside. My footing faltered, knocking over the teacup on the table and sending me tumbling to the floor. Tea splashed over my hair, leaving me a disheveled mess. Shattered porcelain cut my palm. Xiao Yanzhou's eyes flashed with scorn. Meng Chaoyan, you truly know no shame. I've already declared I won't marry you. Yet you have the audacity to follow me here. You stole Yuer's Phoenix Maiden title. And now you dare covet the hairpin she fancied? Don't you see how utterly unworthy you look in this state? He paused before adding. However, if you offer this hairpin to Yuer as an apology, this prince may overlook your petty transgression. So this is the Phoenix Maiden? What a pitiful sight. Rumor has it the true Phoenix Maiden is her younger sister. To marry the 2nd prince, she schemed relentlessly to usurp her sister's position. TSK. Shameless indeed. Delusional dreams of becoming crown princess. Several noble ladies gathered, pointing fingers and whispering about me. Xiao Yanzhou raised his voice. A woman like her isn't fit to be this prince's concubine. Yuer alone is destined to be my crown princess. He ordered everyone from the 1st and 2nd floors to be summoned upstairs. Everyone present, slap her once. And this prince rewards you with a piece of jewelry. Choose any from the 3rd floor. Upon hearing this, someone asked, Seriously? This prince is the future crown prince. Naturally. I keep my word. Smack. Someone plucked up the courage and stepped forward to slap me. Xiao Yanzhou pointed to the jewelry in the cabinet. Pick any piece. That person selected the jewelry and left. Seeing this, others stepped forward. Smack. Choose a piece of jewelry. The sound of slaps echoed clearly throughout the entire pavilion. Xiao Yanzhou ordered guards to pin me down, leaving me unable to move. My face drained of color as I bit down hard on my lower lip. A wave of intense humiliation washed over me, stabbing my heart with pain. A single slap earned them a piece of jewelry. 20 or 30 commoners each struck me once, then departed gleefully with their trinkets. Xiao Yanzhou, his arm around Meng Jingyu, wore a pleased expression. So what if you've been reborn? Look at your pitiful state now, how could you ever be worthy of me? By the time Xiao Yanzhou had finished watching the spectacle and left with Meng Jingyu, my face had swollen to the size of a pig's head. My cheeks burned fiercely. Even a slight twitch of my lips sent sharp pain shooting through them. Hatred filled my eyes as I fixed my gaze on their retreating figures. Xiao Yanzhou, in my past life you killed me, in this life, you humiliate me. This enmity is as deep as the abyss. 2 days later, Qinzhou was indeed struck by sudden flooding. The emperor dispatched officials to take early precautions, averting both natural disaster and man-made calamity. This solidified my reputation as the Phoenix Maiden. The emperor sent envoys to commend me, declaring my title truly deserved. Upon learning Xiao Yanzhou had disfigured my face, the emperor reprimanded him severely and sentenced him to confinement. The next day, it was rumored that Xiao Yanzhou's residence had been raided. All his possessions were looted, and he himself was brutally beaten by the thieves, sustaining severe injuries, including the loss of a leg. The emperor dispatched imperial guards to apprehend the thieves. But they found nothing. Miss. This was sent by the crown prince. He says it will ease your pain and hasten your recovery. Qingling handed me the ointment. I opened the jar, and a delicate fragrance wafted up. Snow lotus ointment. My eyes darkened as I touched the jar. Then a smile curved my lips. I dabbed a little on my face. The icy coolness soothed the wound, and the pain truly subsided. It felt incredibly soothing. After using the snow lotus ointment sent by Xiao Jiuchen, my face healed within just 5 days. One night, deep in the quiet of the garden, I stumbled upon Meng Jingyu and Xiao Yanzhou embracing. Brother Yanzhou, I carry your child within me. If you still refuse to marry me, I have no choice but to end my life. Meng Jingyu wept bitterly, her tears like pear blossoms falling, and Xiao Yanzhou's heart ached for her. Wiping the tears from her eyes, he seemed to make a resolution. Rest assured, I will never betray you. No wonder Xiao Yanzhou was pressuring the emperor. Meng Jingyu was pregnant. The next day, Xiao Yanzhou confronted me. Meng Chaoyan, if you wish to marry me and become my crown prince consort, it is not impossible. But you must agree to one condition. You must consent to my taking you as a secondary consort. You will enter the palace together. Henceforth, you must not mistreat you. Treat her well and show her the respect she deserves. We've already annulled our betrothal. If your highness wishes to marry her, you should seek the emperor's permission, not come to me. I took a step back and said, Meng Chaoyan, what are you pretending? You schemed so hard to marry me, how could you so easily agree to annul the betrothal? It's merely a ploy to play hard to get. Today, this prince personally offers you a way out. Don't be ungrateful. Second prince. The emperor has already betrothed me to the first prince. The Imperial Astronomical Bureau has determined an auspicious date 3 months hence. Xiao Yanzhou scoffed. You're just being stubborn. When the time comes, if I don't show up, the one left looking foolish will be you. Darkness pulled in my eyes as I leaned close to Qingling's ear. Qingling, you go. Seated in the private room of the Gathering Cloud Pavilion, I sipped tea absent-mindedly. A figure pushed open the door, none other than the first prince. Xiao Jiuchen. Miss Meng. Greetings. Your Highness. I bowed in greeting. Soon, Miss Meng will be my consort. What urgent matter brings you here? I came to deliver something to your Highness. Oh. Xiao Jiuchen perked up. I poured a cup of tea. pushed it toward him, and gestured at the envelope on the table. After glancing at it, he cut straight to the point. What is your purpose? Miss Meng? I enunciated each word. I want Xiao Yinzhou to be utterly disgraced. To suffer a fate worse than death. How can Miss Meng be certain I will cooperate with you? Xiao Jiuchen sipped his tea and asked. I looked at the teacup in his hand. If your highness did not wish to cooperate, you would not be drinking this tea. Moreover, I know your highness covets that throne. I can help you attain it. Besides, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We are not merely friends, soon we shall be husband and wife. Xiao Jiuchen's eyes deepened. After a moment, he extended his hand to a fruitful partnership. My fiancé. I smiled brightly. To a fruitful partnership. My fiancé. This is my token of sincerity in our alliance. Xiao Jiuchen's lips curved into a smile. In that case, I too have prepared a gift for my fiancé. The next day, during court, Inspector Su publicly accused the Jingzhou prefect of smuggling salt. He presented a letter detailing the dates and profits of the illicit trade. The emperor flew into a rage, immediately stripping the prefect of his office, ordering an investigation, confiscating his property, executing him publicly, and enslaving all his associates. Father, is this punishment not excessive? Xiao Yinzhou bowed respectfully. If we do not impose severe punishment, every prefecture and commandery will dare to engage in illicit salt trade. What then? Your Majesty, this son suggests conducting a thorough investigation of all provincial governors. Those found guilty must be punished without leniency to deter others. After Xiao Jiuchen spoke, the emperor nodded in approval. Very well. This matter shall be entrusted to Qin'er. Xiao Jiuchen proceeded to the various prefectures and counties in his capacity as inspector. He moved swiftly, starting with Jingzhou. Within a single day, he had thoroughly investigated Jingzhou, uncovering not only the smuggling of salt but also collusion between officials and merchants. Within 5 days, he purged 6 prefectures. Both the Jingzhou and Qingzhou governors were implicated in illegal salt trade and the buying and selling of official positions. This collusion between officials and merchants had increased taxes on the common people, who suffered terribly. Their complaints to the authorities fell on deaf ears. When Xiao Jiuchen arrived, the people seized the opportunity to lodge their grievances with him. After Xiao Jiuchen dispatched investigators to thoroughly examine the case, the governor of Qingzhou and all implicated parties were escorted back to the capital for trial. The emperor flew into a rage, ordering the execution of all involved and their families to be enslaved as penal slaves. The posts of governor in Jingzhou and Qingzhou were left vacant, and the emperor appointed new officials to fill them. Xiao Jiuchen seized the opportunity to install his own men, securing control over Jingzhou and Qingzhou. Xiao Yinzhou, having lost an arm, was so enraged he crushed his teacup. Xiao Jiuchen. Late at night, a figure suddenly appeared beside my bed, its hand tightening around my throat. Was it you? A sinister glow flickered in the dark pupils. Speak. The pressure intensified, and I instantly felt suffocated. Cough. Cough. I fumbled for the dagger beneath my pillow and slashed fiercely at the hand around my throat. The pain made him release his grip. Furious, I slapped him hard across the face. Are you insane? What the hell are you doing barging in here in the middle of the night? If you're sick, go see a doctor. You dare strike me? Xiao Yinzhou stared in disbelief. What is your highness's meaning? Why barge into my boudoir in the dead of night? I glared at him. How did Xiao Jiuchen know the Jingzhou governor was my man? Did you tell him? What are you talking about? Your highness? I don't understand. My expression remained impassive. You didn't reincarnate? Xiao Yinzhou looked skeptical. What reincarnation? Has your highness lost your mind? If you hadn't reincarnated, why did you agree to annul the betrothal back then? Forced unions never bring happiness. Since your highness disliked me, forcing me into marriage would only create another unhappy couple. Why go through that? If your highness doesn't believe me, kill me now. But killing me won't absolve you of blame. Xiao Yinzhou stared at me for a moment, his eyes flashing with cold light. I hope it wasn't you. I watched Xiao Yinzhou's retreating figure, a faint smile curving my lips. The next day, rumors spread like wildfire. The second prince had sneaked into a maiden's chamber late at night with ill intent, only to be caught red-handed and wounded. The gossip traveled swiftly. Within an hour, the entire capital knew of the second prince's scandalous misconduct. Xiao Jiuqin handled the matter flawlessly, earning the emperor's deep satisfaction. He was promptly assigned tasks to manage flood control and persuade bandits to surrender. Instead, Xiao Yinzhou was reprimanded for his absurd behavior. Told to learn from Xiao Jiuqin and alleviate the emperor's burdens, the emperor then bestowed upon him the eldest daughter of the Minister of Works as his primary consort. Xiao Yinzhou offered no objection. I gave a sarcastic smile. Such was Xiao Yinzhou's nature. No matter how much he desired something, the moment it clashed with his own interests, he would abandon it. Now that he had angered the emperor and incurred his displeasure, if he continued to defy the emperor, he might truly fall into disfavor. Yet Xiao Yinzhou remained the emperor's favorite son. Despite all his disappointments, the emperor still cherished him deep down. If that was the case, I might as well give him one last push to make the emperor utterly disillusioned with Xiao Yinzhou. The emperor fell ill, suffering excruciating headaches and chest pains that felt like death itself. The imperial physicians examined him but could not diagnose the cause. The medicine they prescribed proved utterly ineffective. Clatter! The emperor overturned the medicine bowl, roaring, "You're all useless. What good are you to me?" Eunuchs and palace maids knelt scattered across the floor. The physicians trembled as they knelt before him. You can't even cure a simple headache. The emperor's head pounded like a drum, and he let out a wail of agony. He immediately began pounding his head and chest with his fists. Eunuch Gao rushed forward to stop him. "Your Majesty, you mustn't do this." "Ah, Eunuch Gao, post an imperial edict. Seek out wandering doctors and healers from the common folk. Whoever cures my illness shall receive a generous reward." Many wandering doctors and healers arrived, but they were all charlatans. The emperor's pain did not lessen in the slightest. A young eunuch stepped forward. "Your Majesty, this servant dares to suggest. Perhaps we should summon Princess Huang to try?" The emperor's eyes lit up. "Quickly! Quickly! Go! Summon Princess Huang. This humble servant greets your Majesty. Rise. Chao Yan. Come quickly and see what ails me. My head feels like it's splitting apart, as if it might explode. And my chest, it feels as though 1,000 pounds weigh upon it, suffocating me." After inquiring about the emperor's symptoms, I instructed Eunuch Gao to prepare a bowl of clear water and a silver needle. Once the items were brought, I bowed and said, "Your Majesty, I must take the liberty of drawing a drop of your blood." I pricked the emperor's finger with the silver needle, letting the blood drip into the bowl. Chanting incantations, I performed my secret art. A flash of crimson light erupted, and instantly a witchcraft doll materialized in the bowl. Engraved upon it were the emperor's birthdate and destiny, with a silver needle piercing its forehead and chest. This is witchcraft. How dare someone be so audacious as to plot against His Majesty? The crowd gasped in shock. The bowl's image shifted, revealing a tree and a garden. "Your Majesty, this tree and garden mark the burial site of the witchcraft charm." The emperor's face darkened, his eyes blazing with fury. "That traitorous son! Yi Qi! Bring that traitorous son before me. Search his imperial prince's residence thoroughly, dig to the depths of the earth if you must, and find that thing for me." I was suspicious. Did the emperor know where this was? The emperor said grimly, "The third prince's residence." "My dear son, Within the span of a single tea break, Xiao Yinzhou was brought in by the imperial guards. Yi Qi presented a witchcraft practitioner to the emperor. Your Majesty. This individual was discovered beneath the tree in the rear courtyard of the third prince's residence. Xiao Yinzhou paled with terror. Father. I am innocent. Ah. The emperor slammed the witchcraft doll onto Xiao Yinzhou's head. Then explain to me why this thing was found in your residence. Father. I did not do this. How could I harm you? This must be a frame-up. I beg you to investigate clearly. Xiao Yinzhou knelt on the ground, crying out his innocence. Then name your accuser. Xiao Yinzhou snapped his head up. Xiao Jiuchen. It must be him. He framed me. My brother. Explain, what motive would I have to frame you? Xiao Jiuchen stepped forward. You framed me for the crown prince's throne. Of course. Don't delude yourself. Do you think killing me will make you crown prince? I assure you, it won't happen. Father. It was he who framed me. He covets the crown prince's position and has gone mad enough to plot against your majesty. The emperor's gaze turned dark and fierce as he fixed it on Xiao Jiuchen. Father. Your son absolutely did not plot against you. Nor do I harbor any desire for the crown prince's position. Xiao Jiuchen remained perfectly composed. This servant will first dispose of this thing for your majesty. I removed the needle from the witchcraft charm and used a secret technique to destroy it. Taking a drop of blood from my fingertip, I flung it onto the witchcraft practitioner. Instantly, the practitioner burst into flames, quickly reduced to ashes. I feel better. The emperor felt his headache and chest pain vanish. Indeed, this accursed thing afflicted me. The emperor ordered a thorough investigation, and all within the third prince's residence were subjected to harsh interrogation. A trembling young maid confessed, about 10 days ago, when I rose in the dead of night to relieve myself, I saw His Royal Highness the third prince sneak into the rear courtyard. He buried something beneath the largest tree. Did you see what was hidden? Yechi inquired. The maid shook her head. It was too dark in the dead of night. I didn't see. I only saw His Highness dig beneath the tree and bury something. Xiao Yinzhou struck the maid, sending her crashing to the ground. You vile wench. How dare you slander me? I'll beat you to death. As he spoke, he lunged forward, only to be restrained by Yi Qi. Third prince. How dare you act so insolently before His Majesty? I spoke calmly. In the end, the emperor couldn't bring himself to be truly harsh with Xiao Yinzhou. He merely ordered him to receive 30 lashes and forfeited his salary for a year. Xiao Yinzhou was stripped naked and pinned to a stool. Father. I am innocent. Even as the blows landed, Xiao Yinzhou continued to cry out his innocence. By the 10th stroke, blood already seeped from his back. The eunuch administering the punishment was Fangxing, the very one who had recommended me to the emperor for his medical consultation. Under my instruction, he struck with steady, precise, and merciless force. It would make Xiao Yinzhou suffer unbearably, yet leave no visible signs of severe injury. 30 strokes would be enough to knock him for 3 weeks, leaving him bedridden for 10 days or more. Upon learning of Xiao Yinzhou's forced marriage, Meng Jingyu sought him out for a confrontation. Already furious from the emperor's punishment, Xiao Yinzhou was bewildered by the sudden betrothal. Now Meng Jingyu's outburst only compounded his headache. Brother Yinzhou, didn't you say you'd marry no one but me? Why then must you wed the Minister of Right's legitimate daughter? I already bear your child. Brother Yinzhou, if you still refuse to marry me, don't you know what fate awaits me? Could it be you wish me to suffer the same end as in my past life? Meng Jingyu's tearful voice rang out as she confronted him. Xiao Yinzhou recalled how, in his previous life, Meng Jingyu had been forcibly aborted and later hanged herself with a white silk cord. His eyes filled with heartache and guilt. I've tried so hard. No matter how I pleaded with Father Emperor, how I pressed him, He simply wouldn't agree. I even sought out Meng Chaoyan. I could have made her crown princess. All she had to do was agree to let you enter the palace as a secondary consort. But she refused to. I'm truly at a loss now. Suddenly, Xiao Yinzhou remembered something, and his face lit up with delight. Didn't you say you were the Phoenix Maiden? Why not reveal your identity to father and show him your abilities? That way, he should agree to our marriage. Perhaps he'll even grant you the title of Phoenix Maiden. And then we'll be worthy of each other. Meng Jingyu froze. She had only said it casually, she possessed no such divine power. She replied softly, Brother Yinzhou, after you were conceived, my divine power vanished. Now I'm no different from any ordinary person. Xiao Yinzhou looked skeptical. Was that truly the case? Only 3 days remained until my wedding to Xiao Jiuchen. Late at night, a dark figure stood before my window. Who? I demanded coldly. The shadow paused before speaking. Zhao Yan. You must not marry him. You were meant to be mine. Xiao Yinzhou? What kind of lunatic stands outside my window in the dead of night? Has the second prince forgotten? You once swore you'd rather be demoted to commoner than marry me. What's this now? Trying to eat the grass you've already chewed? Zhao Yan. I had a dream. In that dream, I lived to inherit the throne in my past life because you used secret arts to defy fate and alter my destiny, allowing me to become emperor. Yet I betrayed you. Is this real? I couldn't understand what the second prince was saying. In a few days, I will marry the crown prince. Second prince, please leave now. I issued my dismissal. Why? In my dream, you weren't like this. In my dream, you were so kind to me, even willing to sacrifice your own life to change my fate. Why are you so cold to me now? Xiao Yinzhou's eyes darkened slightly, tinged with desolation. I might as well stop pretending. Don't you know why I'm cold to you? In my past life, I poured my heart out to you, sacrificing my own lifespan with secret arts to change your fate. What did I get in return? My intestines torn, my eyes gouged out, and my corpse abandoned in the wilderness. A heartless, treacherous person like you doesn't deserve true love. You don't deserve anyone's genuine affection. You bear a blood debt to me. After I spoke, Xiao Yinzhou's face drained of color. I know my past life was my fault. Will you give me a chance to atone? I'm willing to make it right. Impossible. I spat out those 4 words. Zhao Yan, you must marry me. He left with those words. It suddenly struck me, Xiao Yinzhou's wedding to the minister's eldest daughter was on the same day as ours. I instructed Qingling, go send word to the crown prince, telling him. The night before the wedding, I went to Meng Jingyu's room. Meng Jingyu was 3 months pregnant, her belly gradually showing. Fearing discovery of her bastard child, she had shut herself away these past days. What? Come mock me? Meng Jingyu sneered. At this point, you still pin your hopes on him? If not on him, then on whom else could I place my hopes? Your brother Yinzhou is to marry the Minister of Right's legitimate daughter as his primary consort. Can you really remain calm? Meng Jingyu's eyes brimmed with tears. What can I do? My status isn't as noble as yours. I hold no sway over anyone. I leaned close and whispered a single sentence into her ear. Her eyes widened instantly. This was treason. But if you insist it was Xiao Yinzhou's doing, His Majesty won't blame you, he'll make you the 3rd prince's consort. Soon came the day of my wedding to Xiao Jiuchen. At the first hour of the tiger, the matrons roused me for ablutions and dressing. Too sleepy to keep my eyes open, I let them dress me while my eyes remained shut. After my makeup was complete, Qingling helped me pay respects to my parents before I entered the bridal sedan chair. As the sedan passed through the bustling marketplace, it jolted slightly, and the surrounding noise grew louder. What's happening? Why is it so noisy? It's nothing, miss. Two palanquins collided ahead. The matron reassured me. What a splendid day indeed, several bridal processions are passing today. A flicker of understanding crossed my eyes. Arriving at the Crown Prince's residence, a pair of hands with distinct knuckles reached out. I offered mine, and our hands clasped. After the wedding ceremony, Eunuch Gao arrived bearing the imperial edict. As the eldest daughter of the Meng family, the foremost of the four great clans, and the Phoenix Maiden taking her husband, nearly every court official was present. Your subjects pay homage to His Majesty. Long live the Emperor! 10,000 years! 10,000 years! 10,000 years! Eunuch Gao proclaimed the edict. By the mandate of heaven, the Emperor decrees, I, following the celestial order, govern all under heaven, seeking to establish an heir to secure the nation's foundation. I hereby designate the eldest son, Xiao Jiuchen, born of my legitimate wife, as Crown Prince, endowed with innate brilliance and steadfast virtue. He shall, from this day forth, observe the rites befitting the Crown Prince, govern diligently, and cherish the people. So decreed. Your humble son receives the decree. After receiving the imperial edict, Xiao Jiuchen invited Eunuch Gao to take a seat. Meanwhile, I was escorted to the bridal chamber. Princess Consort. These provisions were prepared by His Royal Highness. Please rest a while and partake of the meal. I glanced at the table, pastries, hot dishes, and tea were all laid out. A wave of warmth washed over me. In my previous life, when I married Xiao Yanzhou, he hadn't prepared anything like this. I was starving and could only drink water. I removed my hairpins and crown, then ate a little. The Crown Prince. The sound of the door opening followed. Xiao Jiuchen, dressed in wedding robes, looked more strikingly handsome than ever. Did you find it to your liking? I nodded. Your Highness is very thoughtful. I didn't know what you liked, so I prepared a little of everything. My heart warmed. Being thought of truly felt different. It seemed Chao Yan didn't remember me at all. A trace of lingering resentment flickered in Xiao Jiuchen's eyes. Noticing the doubt in mine, he let out a soft chuckle. As a child, I heard tales of the Phoenix Maiden, curious to see what she looked like. I sneaked a peek. One glance was enough to capture my heart. And you've occupied it for years since. As I grew older, I learned Father intended to betroth you to Xiao Yanzhou. I held no hope, for I was never Father's favorite son. But the second prince, blind as a bat, stubbornly refused the match, and that's how I found my chance. I should thank him for not marrying you, for it gave me the opening I needed. Gazing into Xiao Jiuchen's eyes, filled with deep affection, I felt a stir within my heart. I knew he held me in his heart. So after my rebirth, I chose him. In my previous life, just before I died, I vaguely saw a figure running towards me. He gathered my battered body into his arms. That man was Xiao Jiuchen. He collected my remains and carved my tomb. Later, he stormed the palace with sword in hand, personally beheading Xiao Yanzhou and placing the head before my grave. The one who buried you in the past is the one you must marry in this life. That is why I chose him as my husband in this lifetime. Husband, tonight is our wedding night. This sweet night is fleeting. Before I could finish, Xiao Jiuchen pulled me into his embrace. His lips meeting mine. Warm red candles cast a haze over the jade curtains. A night of enchanting beauty. Meanwhile, at the second prince's residence, Xiao Yanzhou was being dragged around by a group of aristocratic youths, forced to drink. His Royal Highness has won such a lovely bride, we must drink to that. Several young nobles took turns urging him to drink. One would pour him several cups before being pulled away by another. Your Highness, Are you in such a hurry to the bridal chamber? No need to rush. Today is your joyous day. Stay and drink with your younger brother. Let's drink our fill. Finally, Xiao Yanling managed to hold him back. Though we've had our disagreements before, we're still blood brothers at heart. Brothers don't hold grudges overnight. Right? Cheers. Before long, Xiao Yanzhou was thoroughly drunk. Servants carried him to the bridal chamber. Hot. Xiao Yanzhou murmured, his entire body burning as if engulfed in flames. He shed his outer robe and collapsed onto the bed. A pair of soft, boneless hands wrapped around his neck, followed by a body pressing against his own, cold as ice. Instinctively, he pulled her close. The next morning, a piercing scream echoed through the prince's residence. Meng Jingyu was kicked to the ground by Xiao Yanzhou. Tears streaked her face like rain as she gazed at him. Blurred and teary-eyed, Brother Yanzhou. What are you doing? Did Yuer not serve you well last night? Why is it you? It was clearly Meng Chaoyan who married me. Why has it become you? Meng Jingyu wept uncontrollably. Didn't you say the one you loved was Yuer? Didn't you vow to marry no one but Yuer? Now you've not only wed the Minister of Right's legitimate daughter, but still pine for my elder sister? Xiao Yanzhou suddenly recalled, you switched the wedding palanquins. Where was that Su Yuerong carried off to? Your Highness. His Majesty summons you to the palace immediately. Su Yuerong knelt in the hall, her eyes red from weeping. Your Majesty. The third prince has gone too far. Please avenge this humble maiden. The Minister of the Secretariat's face twisted with fury. Your Majesty. The second prince has committed outrageous acts. I implore you to restore justice to my daughter. Xiao Yanzhou knelt in the hall, silent. The Emperor, consumed by rage, seized the teacup from the table and hurled it at Xiao Yanzhou. The cup struck Xiao Yanzhou, scalding hot tea splashing over his body. Wretch! Kneeling on the ground, Xiao Yanzhou pointed at Meng Jingyu. Father, this is all Meng Jingyu's doing. She swapped out Miss Su's wedding sedan to marry the son instead. Meng Jingyu snapped her head up, eyes wide with utter disbelief. After a moment, her lips trembled slightly. The second prince overestimates me. I am but a concubine's daughter, I lack the cunning to pull off such a grand deception. Meng Jingyu insisted that Xiao Yanzhou had secretly pledged himself to her. Unable to defy the imperial decree, they resorted to swapping the bride. Xiao Yanzhou deliberately requested the emperor to grant us the same wedding day. He then procured a bridal sedan identical to Su Yuerong's in advance. Meng Jingyu sat inside, colliding with Su Yuerong. Meng Jingyu's palanquin was then carried off to the second prince's residence, while Su Yuerong was taken to the outskirts. By the time they consummated the marriage, the deed was done even if the emperor refused to acknowledge it. He would have no choice. The emperor's aura surged violently, his fury palpable. Truly a worthy son of mine. The emperor snorted coldly. Since the deed was done, Meng Jingyu would become a secondary consort. A flicker of joy crossed Meng Jingyu's face. Xiao Yanzhou hurriedly protested, Father, I refuse to marry her. The second prince once chose exile as a commoner to reject my marriage proposal, all to win my sister's hand. Yet now that he has her, he refuses her? Does our Meng family belong to you to take or discard as you please? Your Highness, this is simply too much. I said coldly. Meng Chaoyan, you are the one who ruined me. Look at the mess you've created. You are no longer to participate in court affairs. Remain in your residence to reflect on your transgressions. You are forbidden to enter the palace without summons. Meng Jingyu shall be the secondary consort of the imperial prince. As for Minister Su, I bear responsibility for this injustice. It would be unfair for your daughter to remarry that traitorous son. I hereby bestow upon her 300 taels of silver and a box of jewelry. Should she find a suitable match, I shall grant her a royal marriage. This entire affair is the fault of that traitorous son. I will not allow your daughter's reputation to be tarnished. Your servant obeys the imperial decree. Xiao Yanzhou received 30 lashes from the emperor and was confined to his residence. Before leaving, he fixed me with a menacing glare, his aura thick with malevolence. I flashed him a defiant smile and silently uttered, "You reap what you sow." Then Xiao Jiuchen and I strode away. "You're provoking him." I parted my crimson lips, "A cornered dog will bite." Next. We only need to deliver a heavy blow. My husband can prepare to close the net. 4 days afterward, Xiao Yanzhou remained silent. At the second prince's residence, under the eaves, several servants gathered in secret. "Have you heard? The emperor has abandoned the second prince." "Is that true? How come I know nothing of this?" "Of course it's true. My sworn brother serves in the emperor's court. He says the emperor will soon enfeoff the second prince as a prince." Ha! The crown prince is the legitimate son of the empress. Since ancient times, the eldest son of the legitimate wife inherits the throne. Besides, the second prince's mother is merely a lowly beauty. Now that she's angered the emperor, he's finished. The servant who spoke watched a figure disappear behind the rockery, a faint smirk playing on his lips. "With my assistance, Xiao Jiuchen has recently accomplished several more tasks, greatly pleasing the emperor. He intends to bestow favors upon Xiao Jiuchen during the spring banquet. The spring banquet is the palace's annual feast. When the Empress Dowager was still alive, every spring when the flowers bloomed, she would invite ministers and their families to feast together. It was an opportunity for merriment, as well as for young men and women to mingle and get to know one another. Suddenly, the palace doors were kicked open. A group of black-clad figures wielding swords and daggers burst in. "Assassins! Protect His Majesty! Quick! Protect him!" Eunuch Gao shouted loudly, immediately shielding the emperor with his body. "Ah! Assassins! Help!" The officials' family members screamed and scattered in panic, throwing the entire hall into chaos. "Father Emperor, your son has come to protect you." Xiao Yanzhou charged in with his men, swiftly dispatching the assassins. He approached the emperor step by step. "Father, you were fatally wounded by the assassins. The crown prince, protecting your majesty, also perished in the attack." Xiao Yanzhou's eyes burned with murderous intent. "Rebellious son, you sought to kill your own father? Ha 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 ha. Who says I killed you? Father, you were clearly slain by assassins." With that, he slowly turned to face the assembled ministers. "As for you, those who obey me shall prosper. Those who defy me shall be executed on the spot." His men drew their swords, pointing them at the crowd. "Where are the imperial guards? Where the hell did they go? Father, cease your cries. Your imperial guards have all been captured by my men." The ministers were seized by panic, while some timid women wept softly. "Is that so? Xiao Yanzhou, you remain as arrogant as ever." I stepped forward. "Meng Chaoyan, why must you oppose me? In both past and present lives, the hatred for killing and humiliating me is as deep as the sky." Xiao Yanzhou's pupils contracted sharply. "So you really have been reborn." At Xiao Jiuchen's command, a group of soldiers burst through the doors, surrounding Xiao Yanzhou's men. "The Tiger Cavalry? Follow me into battle. The victor shall be emperor, the defeated shall die." After fierce fighting, Xiao Yanzhou's men suffered heavy casualties, and Xiao Yanzhou himself was captured. I never imagined my own son would attempt to kill me for the throne. The emperor seemed to age several years in an instant, his heart utterly broken. "Your Majesty, I have intercepted a letter." The Eagle Cavalry's captain presented the letter to the emperor. After reading it, the emperor flung the document onto Xiao Yanzhou's face, pounding the table as he rose. "Very well. Excellent. My own son is a traitor to the empire. It turned out Xiao Yinzhou had made preparations for both outcomes. Should he lose the battle, his men would deliver the border defense maps to the northern court. Imperial Censor Su and Imperial Censor Wang jointly petitioned, Your Majesty, even the Son of Heaven, when he breaks the law, is subject to the same punishment as commoners. How much more so for the second prince, whose crime is treason, an unforgivable offense. We beseech your majesty to administer justice impartially, severely punish the second prince, and give an account to the people of the realm and to the soldiers currently fighting valiantly at the border. After a moment's silence, the emperor issued his decree. Xiao Yinzhou, guilty of patricide and treason, is stripped of his noble rank and sentenced to capital punishment. The execution shall take place at noon tomorrow. According to the laws of Dayou, traitors, regardless of status, are punished by the ultimate penalty, dismemberment by 5 horses. At noon the next day, at the city gate, Xiao Yinzhou's head, hands, and feet were each bound with 5 ropes, the other ends fastened to 5 horses. The whip cracked against the horses' flanks, and they bolted instantly. I stood upon the city wall and witnessed Xiao Yinzhou being torn limb from limb by 5 horses. I laughed. My vengeance was complete. The end.